All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we are going to talk about what Floyd Mayweather, Mayweather Promotions CEO Leonard Ellerbe had to say about this big Gervonta Tank Davis, Devin Haney kerfuffle. I never thought I would actually use that word. And let me tell you, man, nothing but raw truth in this. I certainly hope that people listen to it. Because this man is not doing anything but telling you how the world operates in a very real fashion and not necessarily how you want it to work in your imagination. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. We're back on this boxing, talking about the lightweight division. Devin Haney, the undisputed champion of the division, Gervonta Tank Davis, the WBA regular champion, and the response of Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s CEO Leonard Ellerbe to all of the back and forth that took place on Twitter and has been going on for a while now. Before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber and supporter, thank you so much for your support. It really, really does mean a lot. Also, if there's a new way of supporting the channel. If you feel like supporting the channel, there's a little heart down below. So it's called Super Thanks, and this is just a way to chip in towards helping this channel continue to grow. You can do it, cool. If you can't, understand, but I greatly appreciate your support. If you're new to the channel, just hit that subscribe button so you can participate in the conversations we have on a daily basis. All right, so let's get into this. There is a very good space on Twitter called Chicken Talk. I don't believe it's Chicken Talk Boxing, but I believe it's just Chicken Talk. And it is I think the main contributor to it is Loyal to the Soil. So if you follow him on Twitter, you should be able to get access to the Chicken Talk space. Very, very good show. Despite them taking continual shots at YouTube channels, hey man, it is what it is. Life ain't perfect. But a really great show. Definitely suggest that you guys check it out. They interviewed or had Steven Espinoza call into their show, and as a result, really got into what was going on or got his take on all this stuff going on with Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney. Right now, give you just a little bit of background on that. Devin Haney and Steven Espinoza, who's the president of Showtime Sports, and Gervonta Davis had like these back and forths talking about a potential fight between Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis, right? Not going to go into all the details. You guys can go to Twitter, read that whole thing. You probably already know it already if you're watching this video. But Leonard Ellerbe, who's the CEO of Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s promotional company, Mayweather Promotion, gave his insight on it. And I'm going to tell you, man, this guy, Leonard Ellerbe, is one of the most honest people in boxing. When I say most honest, he's really, I have worked in corporate settings for a long time. I've worked in legal settings. Man, I'm telling you, what this guy is saying about the business of boxing and how these fights are made and not made, this man is not making this stuff up. He's telling you the truth as he sees it. And from what I can see, just is about dead on point with the whole thing, even though it may not necessarily fit what a lot of people want to hear about boxing, right? Now, what is it basically? Talks about, and I'm not going to quote him directly. I'm paraphrasing them. Like I said, I'm not a member of the press. I'm not about to come up with direct quotes and play his recordings and all that. But essentially, this is what his take on the matter was. Devin Haney saying that he wants to fight Gervonta Davis is not likely to happen anytime soon. And the reason why that fight is not going to happen anytime soon is because of issues revolving around Devin Haney. Not Devin Haney's willingness to fight, his ability to fight, but issues that he has separate from his desire to fight. So people that come into the comment section and say, would Devin called somebody out? Wow, he really wants to fight. All that I do not doubt that he wants to fight him. However, here's the issue. According to Leonard Ellerbe, one is that he doesn't have the ability to fight Gervonta Davis, right? Doesn't have the ability to fight him because he has a promoter. And that promoter's name is Bob Arum. Now, you say you can call it a co-promotional deal, whatever you want to call it. He has a promoter, Bob Arum, and that is a fact. Whether it's a promotional deal, co-promotional deal, I don't care what that little word says up on top of there. You can put co-promotional deal in the title. Doesn't mean if Bob Arum has say so over who you're going to fight, and you need to get the approval of Bob Arum for you to fight somebody, and he has to invest money in order to set those fights up, he's going to have say so in that regard. And Leonard Ellerbe's like, look, Bob Arum ain't doing anybody any favors. There's no money for Bob Arum in the fight between Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis because Devin Haney is not a big draw. He said he believes that he's a big name fighter. He's a big name fighter on YouTube. He's a big name fighter on Twitter. And to the extent that really hardcore fans know who he is, and certain sections of real hardcore boxing nerds support him. But when you talk about John Q. Public and the people out there just out and about and around, they do not know who Devin Haney is. And even the ones that do know who Devin Haney is, many of them are not particularly excited about seeing him fight because he is not a knockout puncher. Now, these are things that I'm putting together from a multitude of statements that Leonard Ellerbe made during during the time that he was being asked questions on his Twitter space, but it all pretty much just fits into exactly what I'm telling you. From Devin Haney's perspective, Devin Haney has a promotional contract, already has and he has to get the approval of Bob Arum while he's with Top Rank, and Bob Arum is going to have Devin Haney with those belts fight people who are with Top Rank, whether it be Vasily Lomachenko, whether it be Shakur Stevenson, because those fights can be made in a way that allows Bob Arum to make a profit off of the fights when they take place. Second, talked about, so that is that side of it. And then he went on to mention Gervonta Davis himself and was just very, very blunt about it. I gotta respect somebody being very, very blunt about it. He's like, look, Gervonta Davis is not going to take a pay cut to fight Devin Haney. Devin Haney is going to want to make $5 million, $3 million if what he is budgeted on ESPN's budget. And that is a significant statement that I made. I just don't go into videos long enough to explain every bit of it. But the budget that is paying Devin Haney, if he goes over to Showtime, that budget that he's getting does not transition over to Showtime. So the pot of money that is there is going to be smaller for the B side of the fight, which will be Devin Haney, because Gervonta Davis already makes significant amount of money through his pay-per-views, through his gate, through whatever the guarantee that Showtime gives him for that network. That money, because Devin Haney does not bring any major amount of extra viewers or anything like that to the fight, then they're not going to be willing to say, okay, instead of 15 million when it's all said and done for Gervonta, because man, that may be right about where he is when you're talking about 250,000 pay-per-views at $79.99 and $5 million gates, right? Just do the math. That could wind up very much with that young man at everything said and done making around $15 million. He's not going to cut that down to $6 million just to fight Devin Haney, and then add a 12% sanctioning fee onto the purpose of his purse. So I thought that that's a very, very obvious situation where, in order for Devin to get that fight, outside of the belts. Now, Devin has definitely done enough to earn to be called the champion, right? However, to get a fight with Gervonta Tank Davis and participate in that type of big money fight, he has to prove that he is also a big name fighter to earn the money that he would expect for that fight. And another thing that Leonard Ellerbe said, the third aspect of it, was that, look, Bob Arum has matchmakers, and Bob Arum, according to Leonard Ellerbe, already knows that Devin Haney's not going to beat Gervonta Davis. And so why would he risk all of those belts and not have Devin fight his fighters, where if Devin wins, he wins. If Devin loses, he wins. Why would he bet all of that, all four of those belts on a fight that's not that profitable for him, because there's not going to be any money for him in that fight, because that fight's not going to be on ESPN. He's not going to get a big cut of the gate. He's not going to get a cut of the pay-per-view, a big cut of the pay-per-view, right? Leonard Ellerbe's like, he's not going to do that unless you're in a situation similar to Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, where even though Bob Arum probably knew he was going to lose, the promotion had to go to a different network. He at least knew, because of the size of the fight, that he was going to make a bag of money, right? So he was willing to do it because of that. Bob Arum, according to Leonard Ellerbe, is not going to be able to do that for a fight where he's not going to make any money, risk all four major championships belts to go over to the PBC, and at the same time limit the opportunities to get quality fights for either Vasily Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson, or the litany of 135 pounders and 140 pounders that they have. And that is just that's just flat out facts. Building that is not something that is, about whether somebody is being a PUSSY and ducking and all of that other talk that is fun to do. But when you actually are talking about if these fights are going to get made and whose responsibility is to put themselves in a position to get that done, that's on Devin Haney. Devin Haney is going to have to go out there, get knockouts, get to the point where you have a lot of fans that are demanding about this fight, and not just people reacting to the things that he says on Twitter or he says on YouTube, right? So anyway, thought it was a very good interview. I know people are not going to like what I have to say, but man, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.